Hi, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Today is Monday, February 5th, 2024. Larry Johnson joins us now. Larry, thanks very much for your time. I want your thoughts on the latest in Ukraine. Some bizarre stuff has been happening in the past 4 or 5 days. President Zelensky says he wants to fire General Zaluzhny. Zaluzhny's still there. Zelensky says he's going to fire him again. The general publishes a rather sophisticated but maybe unduly optimistic piece. There it is in CNN. The design of war has changed. The essence of the piece is we need more drones, we need more unmanned equipment, and we can win this war, or at least stop the Russians from moving westward. At the same time that is happening, the Prime Minister of Great Britain is sending, we need a NATO expeditionary force in Ukraine, whatever an expeditionary force is, shades of LBJ in Vietnam. And then Prime Minister Sunak says we need a no-fly zone enforced by NATO and British jets over Kyiv. Is Ukraine on its last leg, and are all of these things signs of a dead or dying regime?
Yeah, this is like that final scene from the Titanic. Everybody's in the cold water splashing about trying to grab something that still floats. They're on their way down. But, it is really remarkable how clueless the Brits have become across the board. That, think back at Dunkirk, they rescued 360,000 British troops. That was roughly the size of the British Army back then. Today, Sunak wants to send an expeditionary force. The Brits only have 70,000 soldiers. Well, one of my buddies, who's a retired Special Air Service, SAS guy, he wrote, we could stick them in like Wembley football stadium and there'd still be room for 40,000 more people. So Britain has become, I call it a bedraggled poodle. It is with no teeth, and it barely can bark. You just saw that today they announced, this aircraft carrier or the HMS, whichever, that was supposed to be, taking the lead in the latest NATO exercise that's underway, it had to pull out because its drive shaft wouldn't work. And then you got British ships running into each other. So these are the guys that are going to lead an expeditionary force into Ukraine. And meanwhile, in Ukraine, you've got complete disarray. I wanted to buy the rights for, from Netflix for the new telenovela, the soap opera that would be called As Kiev Churns, because each day there are new reports that Zelensky's mad about this and Zaluzhny's mad about that, and Zelensky's going to get rid of Zaluzhny, and Zaluzhny says he's not going to go anywhere. I mean, it just goes on and on. So while these two are fighting, there is the fighting that's going on the front lines shows that the Russians are making significant advances all along the front. And in fact, in Avdiivka, it looks like they have now cut the supply road, which means there's a significant number of Ukrainian troops now cut behind lines with no supplies.
I don't remember if it was you or Scott Ritter or Colonel Macgregor who warned that if Zaluzhny is fired, and if he is replaced by, I forget the fellow's name, the general who's in charge of intelligence.
Budanov.
Okay, Budanov is in the pocket of MI6 and probably CIA. And he'll do what MI6 or CIA tell him to do, which might mean, offensive weaponry fired into Russia. Is that a legitimate fear?
Well, it's more the strategy is, and this comes more from MI6. They think that now the most viable plan is to launch an insurgency against Russia, that they can't beat Russia with conventional military force, so they're going to do an insurgency, a guerrilla war. And again, it shows the ignorance of the people in London and in Washington, D.C. They forget that from like 1999 to 2009, the Russians were engaged in a 10-year counterinsurgency in Chechnya. They faced radical Islamists that are as vicious as ISIS. Some of these groups had stormed a school. They ended up killing 600 people, mostly children. So Russia has experience fighting insurgencies, and it has clear experience in actually winning it to the point that now those Chechens are loyal Russians and some of the best fighters that Russia has on the front line. So this is Western stupidity, foolishness, that they think that they can launch an insurgency. Russia's got all of the advantages in combating the insurgency. They speak the language, they know the territory, and they already have intelligence assets that have infiltrated all sectors of Ukrainian political and military institutions.
What is an expeditionary force? Is that just a euphemism for fighters out of uniform?
It's like a salt block that you put out in the middle of a forest for a deer to come lick. That's what it is. It's bait. This is to give NATO a reason to start fighting Russia. That's how crazy it is. Because they're also talking about, oh, we'll impose a no-fly zone. The West, even with its current air defense systems that have been deployed to Ukraine, cannot stop and shoot down Russian hypersonic missiles. So this is madness. These are desperate acts by countries that have no clue what they're doing, and they realize that Russia's winning and that they've now done everything possible they could to destroy Russia, and Russia has just gotten stronger with each attack, not weaker.